In today's video, I'm going to give you another one of those examples where I start with a blank chart. But before that, I just want to give you a quick peek at the S&P with where we're at. Since the April low was made, this is a weekly chart of S&P cash. We hit, we held, we triggered, and now we're actually getting very, very close to target number 2. We do have a couple of, weekly timing, okay? But when you look at weekly timing, you have to look at it as plus or minus a week of the cycles, which means, yes, we're in a weekly time window where we want to watch for a possible failure since the market has extended and because we have some time resistance. We also have the time resistance showing up on the daily chart, S&P cash. We've got cycles between now, the 27th, through the 31st. Now, I'm not going to tell you to short the market here. The market is straight ass up, right? Now, if you get signals, that's another story. But we do have reason to ratchet up stops on any long positions because we have almost met 2 targets off of this last low, and because we have this cluster of cycles between the 27th through the 31st. So all I'm saying here is please ratchet up stops on any longs and wait for triggers if you're waiting for the short side. I don't see any just yet. But yes, it's absolutely a great time to protect profits, right? All right, now let's move on to a blank chart. We're going to redo a setup that we had in ROKU. This is a daily chart of ROKU stock. And I'm going to start with symmetry, which is what I typically do. I run basically any of the Fibonacci retracement ratios, extension ratios, and then projections, and that's where I'm comparing swings in the same direction. For example, I'll be comparing like these prior high-low swings and comparing it with the most recent swing. Now, there's also a couple over here that we can use. So we'll do that. We'll run the projections first. Okay, so I'm going to start here. This is going to come in pretty low, though. I'm going to start with this larger swing. But let's also take the swings inside of that swing, okay? Because there's a high to low right there by itself. This one we went through, so I'm going to get rid of it because it kind of went through it by enough to negate that as a decision. Here's another swing that we have. Okay, that came in a little bit lower. This swing, it looks like it's too small, and it is. So again, that's not helpful. But what about this swing? We have this high to this low projected from this high. Okay, now let me check where the actual low was here. Okay, 91.10, so exactly 91.10. This high to low, $16.15. This high to low, $16.15. This is part of how we came up with this trade setup. But let's see what else we have because I've done the projections. Let's look at any retracements that may have overlapped. So low to the high. Okay, nope, get rid of anything that the market went through because that's not helpful. We can try that higher high. Okay, this one we went through, so we're getting rid of that. Again, we have a few of these swings that we can work with. Low to high, and again, just get rid of what the market has gone through because that's not helpful. I'm not sure, did I do this one? No, looks like, okay. So then there is a 50% retracement that comes in just underneath that symmetry. And then here, 618 is a little bit lower. But of course, we're getting rid of anything that the market went below. And also, I like to clean up the charts and get rid of anything that's not really close to current levels. So, kind of pretty up the chart a little bit. But let's see what else. Do we have a retracement in here? Oh, yeah. There's a 786 right there. Okay. And how about extensions? So extensions are essentially retracements beyond 100%. So let me just try. I know this one will come in pretty much lower, but let's try this one because it looks like it's going to overlap that first area. So low to the high. Well, not that one. Okay. We went through the 1272 and the 1618 comes in below. Thought I had an extension though, so I'm going to have to try this slightly smaller swing. This might be it. Low to high. Nope, it's not. Well, anyway, we don't need that because bottom line, we already have a setup, which is basically either symmetry by itself is a setup, or if you have a price cluster. And in this case, we have, um, well, there's actually two price clusters that are interesting to me. The first one is this 90.58 to 91.10. And again, actual low is made at 91.10. The other area is below the market. That's if we started trading lower again, but 86.12 to 86.65. We have symmetry, a 382, and a 618 retracement. Not sure that we'll go back there though. So what would we look for off of this zone? Because it hit, it held. I know it triggered on the buy side, but the typical target for any trend setup is going to be the 1272 extension of the swing into the zone. Okay, so this high to this low, extended. This would be target 1. This would be target number 2. So that's the way we identify setups. We look for price clusters, we look for symmetry setups, and we also look for two-step pattern setups, but they don't quite show up as often as the other two do. But that's how we do it. Try it. You can recreate this chart on your own.